One decision changed his entire life. What happened next will make you question everything you believe about success and failure. This story will definitely change the way you see life. The city of Tokyo shimmered like a galaxy brought down to earth. Neon lights painted the streets in hues of crimson, sapphire, and gold, dancing across glass towers that reached for the stars. The hum of life never ceased. Trains whispered beneath the city, cars glided through the rain-slicked roads, and voices merged into a rhythm that only Tokyo could compose. Above it all, digital billboards pulsed with stories of desire, ambition, and dreams, while lanterns swayed gently in the narrow alleys, carrying whispers of old Japan. It was a city caught between centuries, ancient soul, electric heart, alive, restless, and forever awake. Down one of Tokyo's narrow streets, the glow of vending machines spilled soft light onto the wet pavement. The rain had stopped, but its scent still lingered in the air, clean, metallic, alive. A man in a dark hoodie walked slowly, his hands buried deep in his pockets, his shadow stretching behind him like a secret he carried. The neon reflections rippled on the ground with every quiet step he took. Faces passed, lights flickered, but his own face remained unseen, hidden from the world, hidden from himself. In a city of millions, he walked alone, swallowed by the hum of Tokyo's midnight heartbeat. Hours later, the man sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, a small, quiet space overlooking the restless city below. The TV's blue light flickered across his face, painting fleeting shadows on the walls. A half-empty cup of coffee cooled beside him, forgotten. He leaned back on the sofa, eyes lost in the moving images, though his mind was far away, somewhere deep, somewhere restless. Then came a sound, 3 slow knocks, firm, deliberate, echoing through the silence. He froze. The air thickened. Outside, Tokyo roared as always, but in that room, time stood still. Someone was at the door. When he opened the door, the tension melted from his shoulders. It was Hannah. Her smile, soft and warm, filled the cold hallway like sunlight sneaking into a quiet room. "Dad," she said, her voice bright with joy. He couldn't help but smile back. The years had worn him down, but her presence always lifted the weight. Inside, she dropped her small bag and went straight to the cat curled on the sofa. The animal purred as she stroked its fur, giggling softly. He watched her from behind, his heart full yet fragile. This was what kept him alive, what gave his days meaning. They talked about her school, her friends, and the things she'd seen in the city. Her laughter filled the apartment, wrapping around him like a familiar melody. For a moment, the world outside, the noise, the neon, the loneliness, disappeared. There was only Hannah, and the peace she brought with her. The afternoon sun slipped through the window blinds, casting soft golden stripes across the room. Hannah sat on the sofa, legs curled, scrolling through her phone, while her father stood in the corner of the sitting room, pouring milk into a bowl of cereal. The gentle clinking of the spoon and the quiet hum of the city filled the air. Peaceful, ordinary. Then, a sudden shout. A sharp noise broke the calm. Hannah flinched, her phone slipping slightly from her hand. She turned her head toward the window. Outside, on the street below, chaos unfolded. A man with a gun, no coat, sprinting with fierce determination. Ahead of him, a younger man ran desperately, stumbling as fear gripped his every step. Hannah's heartbeat quickened. She pressed closer to the transparent glass, her breath fogging the surface as she tried to understand what she was seeing. Her father, still unaware, stirred the cereal absently, lost in his thoughts. But Hannah's world had just changed, the peace of their day shattered by the sight of danger running loose in daylight. The young man's breath came in sharp, ragged bursts as his shoes pounded against the pavement. The city's midday heat pressed down on him, but the fear in his chest burned hotter. Behind him, the sound of heavy boots. The armed man was closing in fast. He turned a corner, desperate for escape, but froze. At the far end of the street stood another armed man, waiting. For a moment, the world seemed to shrink around him. The noise of the city faded, leaving only the hammering of his heart. His eyes widened, filled with panic and disbelief. There was nowhere left to run. As the 2 men closed in, rough hands grabbed his arms, forcing him to the ground. He struggled, shouting for help that never came. Then, from the shadow, another figure stepped into view. He wore jeans and moved with quiet purpose. His face was hidden from the camera, as if the light itself refused to reveal him. The air around him shifted, tense, uncertain. The armed men hesitated for just a second, sensing something different about him. Who was he, friend or foe? The answer hung heavy in the air. The city watched, but said nothing. From the apartment above, Hannah's father had already heard the commotion, the cries, the heavy footsteps, the chaos below. Something in him stirred, something he hadn't felt in years. Without hesitation, he rushed down the stairs, fury burning in his eyes. When he stepped into the street, the two armed men were closing in on the frightened boy. The air was thick with fear, but Hannah's father didn't flinch. His presence was sudden, commanding, the kind that made danger itself take a step back. Before anyone could speak, he moved. One powerful swing, a single blow, sent one of the armed men crashing against an electrical pole. Sparks flared. The man dropped to the ground motionless. The second assailant, seeing what had just happened, panicked and bolted down the street, disappearing into the maze of Tokyo's alleys. Silence followed. The young man gasped for breath, his face pale with shock, then slowly broke into a smile. Relief, disbelief, gratitude all at once. He turned to Hannah's father, trembling but thankful. "You saved me," he whispered. Hannah's father didn't reply right away. He just looked down at the boy, his fist still clenched, his pulse still wild. And for the first time in years, he felt the rush of something powerful. The street fell silent once more. Only the faint buzz of the city lights remained. Hannah's father stood over the fallen man, his breath steady but his mind racing. The rescued boy looked up at him, still shaking, trying to understand who this stranger really was. From afar, Hannah watched from the window, eyes wide with awe and confusion. She had never seen her father like this, fierce, unstoppable, and strangely distant. And somewhere in the shadows of Tokyo, someone else was watching too. Who was the mysterious man in jeans? Why did Hannah's father react with such fury? And what secret from his past is about to unfold? The story has just begun. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss episode 2, where the truth behind Hannah's father and the chase will finally begin to unfold. Stay tuned. The next scene will change everything.